Hello everyone, welcome back to today's video. I'm going to cover game 47 of a first book of Morphy. We have Paul Morphy versus P Mod in a blindfold simultaneous exhibition in London 1859. We have the two knights defense. Before we get to the game, I'm going to go over the backstory for this game, right, which is a paragraph here on a short paragraph here on move one. So Morphy faced 8 leading members of the London Chess Club in a simultaneous blindfold exhibition on April 13, 1859. After a day of travel from Paris, the wary master won 2 games before abandoning the remaining 6 draws at 1 in the morning. So let's go ahead and go over the moves. E5, knight f3, knight c6. Okay, bishop c4, the two knights defense with knight f6. Knight g5, d5. So here black is giving up a pawn. Knight a5 attacking the bishop. d3 defending the bishop. And here we have e4. Right, so here the author comments that this is a mistake because black has already given up one pawn on d5. E4 costs another pawn for black. And here, again, it is double checked with the computer. The Stockfish says that it is +1 for white, right? So the move here was h6 to kick the knight out. Queen e2, queen e7, knight captures e4, knight captures e4, d captures e4, queen b4, check. Right, now again here, if you were to move, how would you respond? Right, so let's kind of, we have two options. Let's go over the options. Well, we have 3 options, right? If c3, blocking the check, then queen takes, and then now we're down a piece. After queen takes, knight takes, and we're down a piece. Bishop d2. So let's look at our options. If queen takes, then if we do the if we capture with the queen, then we're down a piece, right? So if queen takes, then we take with the knight. But now queen takes with check, king takes with check, where material is even, but our king is now on e2 and we cannot castle anymore. Which, how do you work around that? We can play rook to h, manually castle, rook h to e1, and then queen f1. So let's look at that variation, right? Not this one, but this one. Queen takes, bishop takes, queen takes with check, and then now maybe possibly something like this, right? A manual type of castle. Again, with knight d2, queen takes, and then now we have queen takes, and knight takes, which leaves us with our king can still castle, and material is even, and then we have our knight on c4, right? If knight d2, knight takes, we cannot take with the knight because it's pinned from the queen, so queen takes, knight takes. We are kind of the same ending, and we're up 2 pawns. So this is good for white. So out of the best choices is knight b to d2, which was played in the game. Now here, black's knight is stranded on a5. It cannot go to c6. So black has to waste time to trade the knight. Okay, so we have this queen b6, castle, bishop d7. Now here you have to see that if black were to play again, what would he play? b5. Bishop to b5 with the threat, right? Now if the queen moves, he's going to trade, and let's say we miss this, right? We want to play here, then black plays bishop b5, queen c3, and then now black trades, and now the position should be even, right? So the rook is worth 5 points, the bishop is worth 3 points, so black gained 2 points from that exchange, but he's down 2 pawns, so it should be 0. The position should be around equal. So now you see this. Maybe you don't want to wait. You want to play queen c3 first, right? So this should be happening in your mind. Okay, now you get out of queen. Now you get out of the capture with rook e1. Okay, and then now we have. And now the thing is here. Now, if you want to attack the bishop, now black can play a5, and then when you play this, black saves the bishop. So that is one option. So now what's another option again for b5 to prevent b5? And that is going to be what happened in the game, what Paul Morphy played, right? a4. So now why is this better? Because we have our queen on c4, and this gives more activity for the rook. In the future, the rook might do a rook lift to a3 and move somewhere to the king side, right? And the bishop gets stuck here on d7. So let's go ahead and compare positions. So now we try to kick it out. Now we have this instead of having the bishop stuck here in the back and our queen still on c4. So let's continue. Black continued with c6, and the author says this is a mistake. White, who holds advantages in center control, development, and king safety, would welcome c captures d5 from black to open the file with e captures d5. So again, white has 2 pawns in the center. Again, has already castled, so we have 2 pieces out from black, 2 pieces out from white. But because white has castled, the rook is now developed, right? Once the bishop is out, the rooks are going to be connected. Black's king is less safer. And another reason why black is behind in development is, sure, black can castle queen side, but if black wants to castle king side, he still has to get his bishop out and then castle. Right, so now we can anticipate this. So what was c6 about? Trying to take? We would just play rook e1 and takes, and then now this is good for white. So c6, knight f3, bishop d6, bishop e3 attacking the queen, queen c7, queen d4, and here the author notes that white uses his space advantage to make the positional threat of e5. White also has a material threat of g7, but this could be a bluff, right? Now you just got to be careful. Let's say if black plays like a move h6, you might think, what is he doing it on purpose? Did he do a mistake, right? And you have to visualize and calculate, is this going to be good for white? Are you going to allow a counterattack? Because that's what's going to happen. You take castle's queen side, and you go pawn grabbing, and then now the rooks join into the game, and now the rooks are going to lead the attack here for the pawn. Of course, the pawn is going to be pushed, but now black has counterplay here on the queen side. So you have to kind of visualize and see if you're fine with this position. If you're not fine, then you probably shouldn't take the pawn. But if you want to risk it, then that's where it's up to you. So next we have f6, preventing e5. c4, white increases his command over the board and threatens c5. Black plays c5 to stop c5 from white and also attacks the queen. Queen d4 or queen d3. The author says that queen d1 was also another option to avoid the complications because now bishop g4, right? So if queen d1, bishop d4, the knight is defended. And here, how do you defend the knight? Well, you can play bishop d2. That way the queen defends the knight. And now here, what's the threat, right? So you have to think about this position. Black is starting to take the knight on f3 and double white's pawns and then take on h2 with check. If you play h3, then black will take the knight. So an example again, if we play h3, and this is something you have to visualize. So let's visualize first, right? h3 takes, and now bishop h2 check, king here. Are you okay with this structure? So h3, are you fine with playing this position? Maybe something like this, but different ideas. But this is pretty much what's going to happen. Or do you want to play bishop d2 and then h3? And now if bishop takes, queen takes. Or knight d2 and bishop takes on h2 and king h1, which what happens in the game. So you have to choose which position are you most comfortable with. So your evaluation of the position has to be really good here. So the move was played was knight to d2, bishop captures h2, king h1, bishop f4, and this is a mistake from black. Black is still down a pawn. He shouldn't be trading. So bishop d6 was the best move just to bring the bishop back. g3, bishop captures e3, queen captures e3, king d7. Now here the author comments that black might have feared king g2. Okay, if black castled king side, white could play king g2 and move his rook to the h file, right? And if black castled to the queen side, then knight to b3 followed by a5, which we'll go over these variations. But again, leaving his king in the center must be viewed as a grave misjudgment. So this is what black was thinking. If he castled king side, then white goes king g2, queen e5, rook h1, and now black wants to double here on the h file. If black castled queen side, then knight b3, b6, and then a5, trying to take. So that's what black saw. So instead, that's why black played king d7. Now we have f4, b6, e5. White has surrounded the center. He intends knight e4. So now e5 allows black to have a strong center and allows now the e4 square is available for the knight. So options are after this, white can go, the knight has options. In the future, it can go knight c5, knight d6, knight f6, knight g5. It can return to f2 to attack the bishop. So this would be a good move for white because the knight will have flexible, lots of options here on e4. So that's why black plays f5 to prevent this. Knight f3, threading e6, and then knight e5. Bishop captures f3, queen captures f3, h5. Here the author comments, black's material disadvantage is just one pawn, but he is so far behind in mobility and king safety that his game is lost. For 4 moves in a row, black's moves have been to or on the edge of the board. So let's go ahead and check that. 4 moves in a row. This being the fourth one. So we're at 3, 2, 1, right? So white has control of the center. Maybe you should think about putting your rooks. Maybe that's how I took it, right? Maybe you should think about getting your rooks out, uh, getting your king to safety. But again, black moves a pawn on the queen side, then a pawn on the king side. This is a good move because I think it prevents the knight e4. Bishop takes here. Okay, trying to prevent the threat here. Another move on the king side, h5. This one, is he trying to attack here? Trying to open up the rook. So now we have rook a to d1 with d6. The threat is d6, queen d8, d6, rook b8, rook f to e1, threatening e6, rook h6, still e6, check. Rook captures e6, rook captures e6, king captures e6, queen d5, check. King f6, rook e1, g6, rook e7, and here black resigned. Now the threat is queen f7 checkmate. So the queen has to give up for the rook. And here it's just a queen versus rook endgame. Now here, the author does give a better defense for white, for black, I mean, but it's still winning for white, right? Now, if we do the quick recap of the game, pretty much white here is winning is +1, right? So after this exchange, black is down 2 pawns. So white is already winning. So it's just a matter of playing solid, making threats, and using your pawns, your space in the center to stick. I mean, to keep your advantage, right? Not blundering, anything like that. Avoiding, making sure your opponent doesn't have any counterplay, that type of thing. And that's what happened in this game. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.